This is your daily market review for Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. Hopefully you're doing well. Again, interesting day in the market. Not surprised by the rally back, but also not surprised by the after hours action. Also not surprised by the games with new money, new month, new day, whatever. You know, we talk about window dressing. The beginning of the month gets typically money to buy in. So again, traders market. Had some good trades on Netflix. Had some interesting trades watching markets and gold and all sorts of fun stuff. And just in general, keep it simple, stupid. We're going into earnings. AMD after hours, Google after hours, both dropping. Again, we'll see if they stick down. But either way, again, I don't think there's much upside for the market because if Trump is going to get his way in cutting spending, I'm telling you right now, cutting spending, cutting everything. Again, it's not about politics. We have to look at what's going to happen. And again, that's always slow GDP. This economy's been tied to government spending for years. If that's going to come to an end, there's going to be a transition. Not saying necessarily the world's going to end or the market has to dump by, I don't know, just trade it. Again, acknowledge it. Be aware of it. Don't have this brain, like consciousness, where you just cannot see it ever going down. Because again, that's part of the market, part of the transition from what we'll see end up being. Again, whether you believe in Trump or not, it doesn't matter. Again, the market is going to probably feel some pain near the highs. And again, if we're wrong, we'll see what happens. Again, I think there's going to be, again, some pain short term. It's just like when Argentina, all these countries decide to cut spending, try to balance their budget, try to get to fiscal surpluses. It's going to take a transition. So again, new to the channel, check out the Discord room, links in the description below. Not here to tell you what's right or wrong. Just when it comes to politics or what you believe, just follow the money, trade the market, do what the market's doing. Like to chat, hit the Calendly link, description below. Love to take 30 minutes, see how I can help you, whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, whether you need help with trading, whether you're looking to, buy or sell a house and anywhere in the country, I've got you covered. I can find you a great agent in your area. And also to follow, like, subscribe on Twitter, YouTube, also posting trades about, what we're watching, what we're up to. Again, some really good stuff. Palantir in the 2x range, Apple hitting the 50, 20, 100-day cross. I mean, again, if you're paying attention, you're in the Discord room, hit me up if you have questions. Again, if you want to get some educational videos are on my YouTube. Also, like, subscribe to the notification bell so you get notified when these videos comes out. Thanks as well if you'd like to donate to the channel. All this is also on the website, tradingagent.com, about daily market reviews, real estate, and education series. All that's there if you want a compressed format of all of it. All right. We know the Fed fund futures that the odds of a rate cut increase as things start to slow off. I mean, the job data, again, it's kind of wacky. It's getting worse. We talked about it. It's like they held, and again, whether you believe it or not, I feel like they manipulated economic data the last year just to hold it up into the election to benefit those who are in power. And it seems to now they don't care. We'll see what happens here. I personally believe, again, AI, all the things that they're doing are going to increase unemployment. You're going to have a transition as the economy goes from government spending to cutting, right? Like we're going to be in that phase. It's just, again, how bad, how deep is this all going to be? And again, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be, in my opinion, not necessarily a trade war, but just a regrowth of the economy, right? You have to take the medicine, right? If we're going to be stuck on government spending forever, we're going to give money back to the citizens. There's going to be a transition period, right? There's going to be people who have to go back to work first. There's going to be people who have to leave the government's jobs. It's going to be tight for a little bit. So again, I don't want to talk about whether you think it's right or wrong, but that's what's likely going to happen. Got it? Get it? Got it? Good? Cool. Keeping on it. Now, Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin, I don't hear all the crypto folks going, Bitcoin, and then noticing gold going bonkers. I'm telling you right now. Again, hard assets. I trust them more than I trust this stuff. But again, I'm not saying that you can't buy crypto, but it's like any other trade. If it's working, great. If it's not, get out. I mean, that's what might happen here. You might see all this money funnel out of crypto into gold. Now, people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, yeah, think about it. Think about how money flows and money goes. Again, I'm not saying for sure I know anything when it comes to that, but in my opinion, I just have beliefs, thoughts, ideas. Because I personally think, again, money chases money. That makes sense? That's what happens. Again, think about people chasing Palantir. Like, it doesn't make sense sometimes. The valuation just is what it is. Bitcoin, again, I believe that Those that think it has value will stick in it and it'll be around. Again, I just don't know who wins the crypto race. That's why I don't trust it. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Oil, we talked about it bouncing here. Man, all over the place, y'all. Absolutely all over the place. Keep an eye on it. Natty gas, chopping around. Again, we like commodities. I want them to pull back. I think that's the easiest time to buy them. The dollar, keep an eye on this. We talked about range high or channel high, backing off. There you go. And it's why I might be seeing the pickup in gold. Make sense? TLT. I mean, this one's tough. Talk about 87. If you bought up here, is your stop, in my opinion, maybe even the 20-day. I think it's curling to build to go higher, but it doesn't necessarily mean ultimately that it has to do it quickly or it's going to be correct, right? Like the risk reward is in your favor. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it, right? VIX. This is where it gets interesting, right? We talked about this backfilling, all these pops. Now you're at the 20, 100-day. Posted this today. I'd be not surprised if we hold here near term. VIVIX typically bottoms before. I mean, it's 2 days. It's not really tough. It's tough to tell as long as we hold the 200-day, right? You see, it's very clear. Keep it simple. Be very visual. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. SPY, all right? Keep an eye on this, right? It fills the gap. Okay, let's see now what happens. I mean, I guess, you got the 8 and 10-day. Again, near term. This is what we talked about. Just a headline-driven market. You're going to have to trade this. It's not going to be easy, in my opinion. But I do see the potential. Again, you could argue, like some people are saying, oh, this is a cup and handle. Some people are saying it's a double top. It's a chop top. It doesn't really matter. Trade the extremes. Trade your perspective. If you're only going long, go long and pick things that are going long. If you're picking shorts, go short. Again, we don't even have to have this debate in the Discord room. People get that. Like some people are going long only, and some people are going short only, and some people are just not trading. It's okay. That's the market. Q, 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 right? Here you go. You fill the gap, come right back in, right? I mean, I don't know where do you want to put this, but somewhere in this range. Keep an eye on it. Again, this to me is showing weakness, right? We talked about tech being the laggard, right? Not making new highs like the SPY. Keep an eye on it. IWM, next laggard. Talk about laggard of laggards. 50, 100-day. Said, watch what happens here. Man, look at this. Drops, fills the gap, 8 and 10-day. This one's tough, man. I mean, that's the choppiness of what it is sometimes. Keep an eye on it, okay? DIA, fill in the gap. Interesting area here. We'll see if it can break out. Fake out. Well, who knows? Gold, again, talk about dollar weakness. Talk about leading, letting it run. If it's working, raise your stops. People don't trust it. Maybe it is going higher. Silver finally getting some more like follow through a little bit. Notice where we got stuck at today. But again, I'm not going to fight this trade. I mean, you got the volume building. It looks strong. However, again, if the market pulls back, this is where it gets a little funky. You could get some sideways action. Again, I personally believe, and on record, I was like, I love gold. I love silver. I like materials long term. I've been saying this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Again, I think the transition out of tech into materials is going to blow your fucking mind. I've seen this before. This happens. And again, it's not going to always be easy. And it's not going to be straight line moves. And it's not going to be one of those things where you can just go, oh, it's going to be like this and easy. No. Again, I personally believe once the tech short is over, it's simple for me. You can grab these names on pullbacks or weakness if there is some. And if not, if you got the physical like I do as well, you're just sitting here going, fuck yeah, let it run. We talked about miners needing to get over this 3-day range. Okay. Not great volume, but again, starting to catch up. That's what we talked about. Needed to see them catch up. GDXJ, same thing, needs to catch up. They got a lot of room to catch up. AEM, we talked about this being the leader. Okay. Seems to be holding up pretty damn well. Leading up. AG got a nice bounce today. Keep an eye on this one, right? If you can clear this, I mean, I don't know why. Again, you can argue a lot of different, I don't know, ways of trending this. Again, I'm not too concerned necessarily about it. I mean, we've talked about this retesting, backing, but I mean, when you zoom out, guys, you see what I'm talking about. Like, this is where you get caught in the death cycle of choppiness. I don't know where it ends. But again, if you're buying the low end of range, you want to trade it, go right ahead. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Newmont, here we go. Range lows, we've talked about this one. Think it's a bottom. I mean, but again, can they retest? That's always possible. Will there be weakness at some point? Absolutely. These things will not bottom in a straight line, in my opinion. Pass. Again, but these things have potential to rally. That's where we talked about, like, not once would I say short these things, but I would say ultimately you have to be careful. If they do pull back because of the market, they make sense. But sometimes, again, just watch what happens within this cycle, right? If gold starts leading, silver starts coming, the miners are going to almost be immune to down days. That's what we've seen before. Again, pay attention, follow the channel. Let me know, I can help. Again, long term, very bullish. Those sectors, absolutely. Taiwan semi, gaps down. This is a big choppy mess. I mean, I think you got to wait for the 100-day to break. It just looks bearish to me. I don't know what the actual resolution ends up being. Micron, we talked about. I mean, I do expect to go lower. I just don't know if it's going to be clean. Like Micron, here you go, like chopping around the range lows. Is it going to be clean? AMD gets a bounce into earnings, and then after hours back at 112, back at the range lows. Again, earnings after hours action can be a little tricky. Your guess is good as mine whether you want to trade around it. I've been on record saying this thing is freaking toast. Get out the jelly. Same thing as NVIDIA, 2025 trade of the year. Here you go. Chopping, holding the primary trend. You do what you got to do. SMCI, again, personally don't trust this stock. Again, if their sales and their numbers were, I mean, I don't know how to really backdate all this and see what the real value is. But again, I mean, it makes sense if you want to take a trade and define your risk and then see what happens. Intel, again, I'm just not really into chasing that thing up. We've talked about this being a turd. If it gets bought out, it's going to be not at a premium. In my opinion, this is the trade, 18 to 20, chop, 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 chop. AVGO, we've been paying attention to this one, watching this one. Seems to be holding the 50-day on this pullback, wedge down, gap down. I mean, I would probably be watching this 226 here. Keep it simple, stupid. SMH, again, I think gets all these. I mean, trade war is not going to be good for these folks, y'all. We talked about this chopping around. Again, it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, before this stuff goes lower. All right, the subsidizing of technology growth from government spending and just everything. Again, if you get a recession, like, again, chips become a chip. Keep an eye on it. Here you go, chopping. Apple. Keep an eye on this 20, 100-day. Amazon. I mean, sorry, I'll slow down. Adobe, I've said 20-day. I'm not just, this one just, you know, if you ever watch Pat from SNL, like Apple said, watch the 120-day cross. I feel like you're going to get that. I mean, could you fill the gap? That's always possible. Amazon, right? This one, you know, breaks out, but then down on Google stuff. Again, earnings come. It's tricky. Meta, again, you have the range, the channel high. Keep an eye on them. I mean, these things have been on fire. CRM, again, whether you want to short or go long, again, if you're long these names, you got to roll up your stops. Just don't be silly. Just don't be silly, okay? Don't go nuts here. Here you go. Keep an eye on this stuff, right? CRM. Interesting, right? Like we talked about this double top. Google after hours down 6%, I think, down at 192. That's kind of scary. Because again, if they got the future chips and everything's going on, why, you know, even if this is sold, I'm just curious to find buyers. Like that's what I'd be looking for. Like if it's really going to be that strong, you need to find buyers. Give it 3-day rule, possibly. Maybe you see the 180s. If it's really that strong, it needs to hold. Keep an eye on it. Microsoft, this one seems to be just buying its time before it gets blasted. I don't know. Keep an eye on that one. NDAQ, again, I think this is a great short long term. We've talked about the why, the how. Just is this a double top or is this a lower high? This is where it gets confusing. You don't know for sure. MicroStrategy, again, I think this is in the dumps, going nowhere, just chop action personally. But we'll see what happens here. Keep an eye on this, right? Keep an eye on this. Oh, getting a comment. Someone wants some help. Oh, you want me to review something? Oh. No, I'm not going to be able to go. I don't like looking at crap coins, meme coins, crypto. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. Netflix, we talked. So this was a really interesting trade. Talked about this retesting the highs. You know, some folks, again, Jay Solis has had he had calls. Again, talked about going to 1,000 plus. I said today, I felt like it was a bull trap. Watch this action, took the short. Again, look where it hit, 200, took some profit. Got some not long, but next week puts, again, that got in at higher prices. Not really, again, with this, you have to think about too, like what happens when this pops back. The premium definitely got whacked, but again, I took some profit. I feel pretty good about it. We'll see what happens here. Again, I don't trust Netflix, but again, now I had a small loss to start, had a nice gain, and now I've got, you know, basically flat, slightly up on the next week's puts at the money, 1,000. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay. Roblox, man, this thing is just cranking. Missed this one. Damn it. Not much I can say on that one. Pan W. Congrats to the bulls. Talked about this. We like cybersecurity's name, just chopping around the 187. Tesla. I mean, we talked about this one. Is it due to bounce? It should be, right? Like this thing has been crapped all over. It's holding support at the 380 level. Keep an eye on it, right? Insight, I think this gets bought out at some point. Going slightly nowhere just to chop around. Hims. Love to see this cranking. We've talked about this. Again, congrats, bulls. I like the idea of a short. I don't know where it needs to get to. I need to do a little more drawing on this. There's got to be some fib extensions and fib range movement on this. But here, I guess I could do this. This video is going to be a little longer than I want it to be. But I'd be curious to know what the fib extensions up are at this point. All right, so the 2 times range is usually the first major resistance. Let's see what happens here. And where is that price? 45. Okay, worth an eye. Again, technical analysis, you could throw it out the window sometimes. That's why you don't bring a ruler to trading. You can't guarantee everything. Speaking of 2 times range, Palantir, it's a 2 times range, right? Doji after earnings. Keep an eye on it. This could be due for some more sideways action. I mean, think about it. It's like you wait months for one day and then it just sideways. Can happen. McDonald's chopping around, holding the 200-day. DKNG, again, like the short up here. Bounced back pretty strongly today. Keep an eye on it. Again, is it oversold bounce? I mean, on the 10-minute, maybe. Airbnb, right? This one's chopping around. Got nothing on this one. Costco, damn, shorty. I can't remember who asked about this, but running up to new highs, not surprised. Got over. We'll see what happens. Again, new money, new month. Keep an eye on that. Starbucks, and I like the short right here, right now. Right here, right now. I mean, I know they're cutting 30% of their menu. We'll see how it holds up here, but it feels like a little bit of a trap after a big run. I mean, they got to prove it. They have no pricing power. FedEx getting slapped around. Again, things that you don't see if the market's strong. Caterpillar, keep an eye on. I'm trying to move fast. Chopping around, holding the 200-day. Deere, this thing's been acting like a tech stock. A nice bounce back. All right, we'll see if it continues. Nucor, again, we like steel. We like all of these material names. Okay, are they bottoming? We'll see. They probably are, actually. If you're going into the cycle with government spending, invest in, material names. I mean, that's the next cycle. X chopping around. VALE, again, we talked about this one bottoming, looking pretty solid. Keep an eye on it. Again, any weakness on these names, major weakness, to me, they make sense, right? Like, just be careful chasing the rallies up because they can go sideways to down when the market goes down, right? We've seen this before. Arrow chopping at the lows. Again, I'm not shorting these names. Absolutely not. But watching them. CCJ, again, if you break these lows, you could come back down to the mid-30s quickly. CF, again, ag seems to be holding up. Hope these trades don't leave without me, but again, it'll be, it is what it is. I'd rather short NVIDIA, rather short overpriced tech, and then chase. These are multi-year moves in my opinion. So you have multi-dimensional potential on these, right? Like multi-X moves. NTR again chopping around. We like these names. AA again. I think there's going to be aluminum is going to be very important for the future. Keep an eye on it. XLF's interesting today, right? Because it feels like it's a trap, right? The trap was the other day. Now what? 8-10 day. Keep an eye on this, right? Keep an eye on this. JP Morgan. Here's another one, right? Keep an eye on this. Chopping around. Again, I feel like this is easy short long term. Morgan Stanley. Define your risk. Define your risk. Define your risk. Seems to be making lower lows, lower highs. It's barely off the top. But again, worst case scenario for the bulls, it's chop. Bank of America, same kind of thing, chopping around. Goldman Sachs, you would think it would be rallying more, but it's had a nice move. I don't get too crazy with it. Carry, we talked about this, ultimately, it feels wonky, right? No doubt fail zone, not so much. Well, again, it was earlier. Keep an eye on this stuff. Again, I personally believe that there's a lot of risk. I don't know how you can cut spending and bail out banks. Again, no one is going to be for that. XBI, keep an eye on this one, right? We talked about this, chopping around. Jets, I think the short made sense up at the highs, but it seems to be holding the 20-day, 50-day choppy action. Again, I think that one makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. We've talked about the housing index. This thing got beaten, oversold, bounced, got to some important areas, and now it's just chopping around. Again, the home builder numbers are actually just terrible. Solar, as we talked about, due to bounce, chopping around. I don't really have an opinion on it other than near term. They due to bounce. If oil gets the bounce, but these names are just fugly. Fucking nuck and futs. Keep an eye on it. HYG again. They were buying this today. I'm amazed. Corporate debt. You got to be out of your mind after the gap down. All right, let's end it with oil and gas names. We talked about oil is due for a bounce here, chopping around. Right? Cool. I get it. UNG. Again, I hate this product. Absolutely hate this product. Absolutely hate this. KLD to me is short on bounces. Just keep an eye on it. I mean, it's going to be tough in my opinion, for this to break. XOP. We talked about this, right? Making sense to get a little oversold action. Gasoline names, if you're watching them today, were ripping, right? Like, look at freaking MPC, right? Back to an old trend line, but absolutely ripping today. Keep an eye on it, right? Valero, same kind of thing. Like, oil and gas names can typically lead up. If they can break over these moving averages and make higher highs, man, XOP might have some nice moves in it. CVE was, again, we talked about these like junior names need to catch up. Look what happened today, up 87 cents. Not too bad coming off the lows. Again, keep an eye on these names. BP, we've talked about this consolidating in the 30 area. Here you go, right? 100-day held. Okay, 200-day next, right? If oil and gas are, I mean, this is where it's going to kill the feds. They're going to be hating life. But we'll see what happens. ExxonMobil seems to be chopping around the range lows. Occidental, again, I don't think Buffett's going to lose on this. It makes sense long term to snack some down here with defined risk. But if the markets pull back, anything is possible to get slammed as well. EQT, again, homies have been on this one. Up at the highs, looking pretty strong. Last but not least, Flex LNG, right? Keep an eye on this. Because I think personally, we'll be natural gas exporters, talked about this endlessly. All right, have any questions, thoughts, concerns? Don't hesitate to reach out. Again, I apologize for speaking quickly, but I'm trying to get these videos down so that they're less than 22 minutes. All right, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. If you have any questions about the real estate market, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm serious. Like, ding me, ping me, let me know I can help. Even if I'm not involved in the process, I will give you some advice to think about. Hopefully you have a great transaction. Talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, your PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.